Today's thought: when Christmas was forbidden. It may seem like Christmas has always been celebrated in the United States, but that's actually not the case. In fact, the joyous religious holiday was actually banned in America for several decades by Christians themselves. Ebenezer Scrooge and the Grinch had nothing on the 17th century Puritans. The pious Puritans who sailed from England in 1630 to found the Massachusetts Bay Colony brought with them something that might seem surprising for a group of devout Christians: contempt for Christmas. In reversal of modern practices, the Puritans kept their shops and schools open and churches closed on Christmas, a holiday that some disparaged as Fool's-tide. After the Puritans in England overthrew King Charles I in 1647, among their first items of business after chopping off the monarch's head was to ban Christmas. Parliament decreed that December 25th should instead be a day of fasting and humiliation, for Englishmen to account for their sins. The Puritans of New England eventually followed the lead of those in Old England, and in 1659, the General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony made it a criminal offense to publicly celebrate the holiday and declared that whosoever shall be found observing any such day as Christmas or the like, either by forbearing of labor, feasting, or any other way, was subject to a 5-shilling fee. Why did the Puritans loathe Christmas? Well, Stephen Nissenbaum, author of The Battle for Christmas, says it was partly because of theology and partly because of the rowdy celebrations that marked the holiday in the 1600s. In their strict interpretation of the Bible, the Puritans noted that there was no scriptural basis for commemorating Christmas. The Puritans tried to run a society in which legislation would not violate anything that the Bible said, and nowhere in the Bible is there a mention of celebrating the Nativity. The Puritans noted that scriptures did not mention a season, let alone a single day, that marked the birth of Jesus. Even worse for the Puritans was the pagan roots of Christmas. Not only the 4th century AD did the church in Rome ordain the celebration of the Nativity on December 25th, and that was done by co-opting existing pagan celebrations such as Saturnalia, an ancient Roman holiday of lights marked with drinking and feasting that coincided with the winter solstice. Puritans believed Christmas was basically just a pagan custom that the Catholics took over without any biblical basis for it. The holiday had everything to do with that time of year. The pagan-like way in which Christmas was celebrated troubled the Puritans even more than the underlying theology. Men dishonor Christ more in the 12 days of Christmas than in all the 12 months besides, wrote 16th century clergyman Hugh Latimer. Christmas in the 1600s was hardly a silent night, let alone a holy one. More befitting a rowdy spring break than a sacred occasion, Christmas revelers used the holiday as an excuse to feast, drink, gamble on dice and card games, and engage in lascivious behavior. In a Yuletide twist on trick-or-treating, men dressed as women and vice versa, and went door to door demanding food or money in return for carols or Christmas wishes. Bands of mostly young people and apprentices would go house to house and demand that the doors of prosperous people be opened to them. They felt they had a right to enter the houses of the wealthy and demand their high-quality food and drink, not meager handouts. But the stuff prosperous people would serve to their own families. Those who failed to comply would be greeted with vandalism or violence. Even after public commemoration of Christmas was once again legal in England following the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, the Yuletide ban remained firmly on the books in Massachusetts for an entire generation. Although outlawed in public, the celebration of Christmas endured in private homes, particularly in the fishing towns further afield from the center of Puritan power in Boston. The prohibition of public Christmas celebrations was unique to Massachusetts, and under the reign of King Charles II, political pressure from the motherland steadily increased for the colony's Puritan leaders to relax their intolerant laws or risk losing their royal charter. In 1681, the Massachusetts Bay Colony reluctantly appealed its most odious laws, including the ban on Christmas. Hostility toward the public celebration of Christmas, however, remained in Massachusetts for years to come. When newly appointed royal governor Sir Edmund Andros attended Christmas Day religious services at Boston's Town House in 1686, he prayed and sang hymns while flanked by redcoats, guarding against possible violent protests. Until well into the 1800s, businesses and schools in Massachusetts remained open on December 25th, while many churches stayed closed. Not until 1856 did Christmas, along with Washington's birthday and the 4th of July, finally become a public holiday in Massachusetts. Although the change was gradual, people began to once again embrace the holiday until Christmas as we know it today, complete with mistletoe, eggnog, and candy canes, was celebrated throughout the American colonies.